Have you ever stared at a spreadsheet just packed with numbers and felt completely lost? You know there's a story in there somewhere, but it's just buried under this mountain of data. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a powerful tool that turns all that chaos into a clear, simple, and seriously insightful picture.
Okay, let's jump right in with a real-world mystery. Picture this. You're in charge of a hospital's emergency room, and your main goal is to get those patient wait times down. You've got all this data from the morning, afternoon, and night shifts. So the big question is, which shift is really performing the best?
So you look at a table like this, and it's tough, right? Your eyes just kind of glaze over. I mean, you can spot some high numbers in the afternoon, maybe some low ones at night, but getting a real feel for the overall picture, it's almost impossible. Which shift is the most consistent? Which one is all over the place? Just by looking at this jumble of numbers, you really can't say for sure.
And that right there is the core problem we're trying to solve. Our brains just aren't wired to find patterns in long lists of numbers. The real story, the truth, is buried in there, but these raw numbers are doing a great job of hiding it. We need a better way.
Well, what if I told you there is, and it's an elegantly simple tool that's going to solve our hospital mystery in like 2 seconds flat? It's called the box plot, and by the end of this, you're going to be a pro at reading and using it.
So how does this thing actually work? Let's take it apart piece by piece. Now, it might look a little strange at first, I'll give you that, but trust me, every single line and every single space has a very specific and very powerful meaning.
Okay, so what is this thing? You can call it a box plot, or its fancier name, a box and whisker plot. But what it really is a super smart summary of your data. Instead of showing you every single number, it boils everything down to just 5 key statistics that tell you pretty much all you need to know.
And here it is. This is the whole shebang. You've got this box right in the middle, which is defined by something called quartiles. Then you've got these whiskers that stretch out to the absolute highest and lowest values. And that line cutting through the middle of the box, that's your median. Altogether, these pieces make up what we call the 5-number summary.
These are the 5 secret ingredients, the backbone of every single box plot. You've got your minimum and your maximum, the median right in the middle, and then these 2 other points called the first and third quartiles. So let's see how we get them.
You know, finding these numbers is way easier than it sounds. First, just line up all your data from smallest to biggest. The minimum and maximum, well, they're just sitting there at either end, easy peasy. The median is the number that's smack dab in the middle of the whole list. Then you just look at the lower half of the data and find its middle. That's your Q1. And the middle of the upper half, you guessed it, that's Q3. Simple as that.
Okay, so we've built the thing. Now for the fun part. What does it all mean? The real magic of a box plot isn't just making it. It's reading the story it tells you, especially the story inside that box. That box represents what's called the inner quartile range, or IQR for short. Think of it as the heart of your data. It's the zone that contains the middle 50% of all your data points. It shows you where the bulk of your values are hanging out, away from any crazy high or low numbers. And this is a huge deal. The length of that box tells you everything about consistency. A short, tight little box, that means your data is all clustered together. It's a consistent, predictable process, a real rock star. But a long, stretched-out box? That's a warning sign. It's telling you your process is unpredictable and all over the place. And don't forget that line inside the box, the median. It has a story to tell too. If it's sitting nicely in the center of the box, your data is probably pretty balanced. But if it's shoved over to one side, that tells you your data is lopsided, or what statisticians call skewed.
But wait, there's more. Sometimes the most interesting parts of the story aren't in the box or the whiskers at all. They're the data points way out on their own. We're talking about outliers.
Now, we don't just eyeball this. There's a simple formula to figure out what's officially an outlier. We basically build these invisible fences on either side of our box. You can see the math on the screen, but the idea is simple. We create a boundary. Any data point that jumps over those fences, boom, that's an outlier. And this is what they look like on the chart. See those little dots just floating all by themselves, far away from everybody else? Those are our outliers. They're the rebels, the exceptions to the rule. Okay, so why should we care about these lonely little dots? Because in the real world, outliers are clues. They are practically screaming for your attention. An outlier could be a machine that's about to break down, a simple typo in your data, a problem with a supplier, or, hey, it could even be your star performer who's figured out a better way to do things.
Investigating them is where the gold is often found.
All right, we have learned the secret language of the box plot. We have all the tools we need. Let's go back to that hospital emergency room and crack this case once and for all.
So instead of that wall of numbers we saw before, look at this. It's so much clearer. Let's break it down. The night shift, it has the lowest median wait time, just 20 minutes. And look at that tiny IQR of 6 minutes. That means it's super consistent, plus no outliers. Meanwhile, the afternoon shift, oof, not only is its median wait time the highest, but that IQR is huge, which means wait times are unpredictable and all over the map.
And just like that, the mystery is solved. The night shift is our champion, hands down. It's not just the fastest on average, it's also the most consistent and predictable. The story that was totally buried in those numbers is now plain as day, all thanks to the box plot. And this method works for everything. I mean, imagine you had to choose between these three machines. At first glance, machine C looks fastest, right? Lowest median. But look closer. Machine B has a tiny IQR. That means it's incredibly reliable, super consistent, with no surprises. So which do you choose? The box plot helps you see that trade-off between speed and consistency instantly. And this all boils down to one powerful idea, especially in fields like Six Sigma. You cannot control and you cannot improve what you cannot see. Box plots give you that visibility. They make variation, which is usually the enemy of quality, stand out so you can't possibly miss it.
So, the next time you find yourself drowning in a chaotic spreadsheet, remember the box plot. It's more than just a chart. It's your secret weapon for asking the right questions and getting clear answers. The only question left is, what hidden stories is your data just waiting to tell you?